Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first YouTube battle report. I'm Kasual, and this is a report with my Bretonians against Drunkanteater's vampire counts. We rolled up a Blood and Glory scenario, and it's 2,500 points. Me and my good friend Drunkanteater, we actually had an impromptu game on Saturday. We met at a friend's house and got a case of beer, and we went to war. You can pause the screen here if you want to see what the lists contain. And on to deployment. This is my right side. I have a trebuchet, 2 units of peasant archers, a unit of yeomen. On the left side of the screen here you can see my men-at-arm block. That has my level 2 damsel in. She rolled up the transformation of Kadan and the Weisson's WoW form. At the very top left of the screen there you can see a piece of rock. That is actually a big piece of impassable terrain. I thought it was a good idea to protect the flank, my men-at-arms. And I left this area open in the middle here as kind of a deployment tactic to see where he was going to go with his night block, and to let him know that I could put my night block here also. On the left side, I have on the right side of the picture, I have my Knights Errant, a group of 12 of those, full command. They do have the errantry banner. I have a unit of peasant yeomen in front of my prophetess's night block. The idea here was I wanted to use my vanguard move to protect the Knights Errant from having to charge out. Now granted they would be rerollable 10, but it actually doesn't work out that way because he gets to jump on the vanguard move. So, and then on the left side here I have my big night block. I don't usually run this. It was kind of an addition to my list since the tournament I played last. Actually my first tournament that I got dominated in. And although the characters I've ran before, I never actually put them in the same, and it seems to be a very popular thing to do right now, and I wanted to give it a try. And it just so happens that Drunkanteater had the same idea, as you will see, or as you could see from his list. And then behind my night block there I have another trebuchet. There's another shot of my grouping on the left side. I really hunkered down here. I really didn't want to go up against his night bus. I really have no idea what the vampire can do. I know they're tough characters. I think he has, 3 vampires and 2 white kings. Okay, on his deployment, you have a unit of dogs, another unit of dogs, his big night block. He has a unit of grave guard there, his corpse cart in behind, the unit of crypt ghouls, small unit of zombies, another unit of dogs, and then here's another shot of that. And then on the other side he has a unit of dogs. So this is turn 1. This is his vanguard and move. I will apologize as I go along. This was kind of a last minute thing to decide to take some pictures and make a battle report out of this. So there may be some areas that are missing. I'll do my best to explain what would be missing. So his dogs move up, and his crypt ghouls move up pretty aggressively. I think that's because they were within range of their general to march. And the zombies I don't think were within range, so they're a little staggered. He also moves up his grave guard and the corpse cart and his night bus. Not as aggressively as I thought he may. I guess he doesn't want me getting that first charge right away. And he puts the unit dogs out there as redirector. And we all know with the new rules, if I would go in there and pop them through combat res, I'd be stuck. You see the dice in the middle, that would be our fortitude. We both started with 7. And I'll try my best to keep track of it as the report goes on. He moves this unit of dogs up behind my night bus. There's not much I can do about it. They're going to get to the treb. Hopefully I can get a couple shots off. But this battle at this point I know is just going to be bloody and a lot of combat. So the treb is kind of useless after the first couple turns anyway. If you see those markers, the G-dub skull markers, that just means my unit has the blessing. That would be from my night bus. So on my turn, I moved my yeoman up. I really didn't know what to do here. This was kind of a mistake, I think, on my part. I actually had to go over that wall, and I lost 2 to dangerous terrain, which seemed kind of silly to me. I probably could have just held them back and protected my trebuchet on the right side. I've had these yeomen go against these dogs multiple times, and it really is a coin toss to see who wins. So as you can see on the right there, he lost 2 dogs. That was from my shooting. I put both bowmen at them and only killed 2. So this is actually after combat on turn 1. I took my men-at-arms block into his ghouls, and I turned my damsel into a Mount Chimera. She actually rolled pretty low for her number of attacks, so she didn't really do as much damage as I would have hoped. But she did take a wound from the miscast, as I used 6 dice, and my prophetess actually took a wound also because of her miscast. So after combat here I won, and I reformed into Horde. I know the zombies are coming in, and maybe the dogs, which I actually kind of want the zombies coming in. I'm going to have a lot of attacks against them. I have a better weapon skill. I'll be striking before them, and that combat resolution will actually really dominate those crypt ghouls. So I'm kind of daring him to bring him in, and he, as you will see, does fall for it. So here on the left side, I took my Knights Errant block into the Graveguard. I don't know how I'm going to fare here. That killing blow is really nasty. And this is actually after combat. I did lose 2 knights. I killed a couple Graveguard. I think I won combat. Regardless, I stuck around. And I took the yeoman into the dogs. The way I had to get in there, I actually kind of clipped him. There was no way I could get more in-base contact. So after combat, there was still 2 dogs left, which actually turned out to be pretty good for me because it was blocking his night bus, which is going to make him take a turn to get rid of those yeomen and possibly overrun, but we'll see how that pans out. There's just another view of it. So on my turn, when I did those charges, I actually moved my night bus back. I measured the distance, and if he does overrun on those yeomen, it would not have been too much of a roll to get into them. So I decided to move him back a little bit and make it a little more iffy for him to decide to overrun. That says vampires count turn 2, but it's actually, well, it's about to be turn 2, but that's what I did on my move there. So turn 2, his dogs actually kill and run down my yeoman. And this is after combat, and man, did my men-at-arms clean up on those zombies as I thought they may have. It was just a lot of kills, and this is actually after combat. You can see how many crypt ghouls have lost just through combat res with those zombies. I really think it was a mistake to put the zombies in. I think he could have just held them back and see what happens with the crypt ghoul fight, and then if he needs to hold up this unit again, he would be able to throw the zombies in for another turn. But like I said, I mean, we were having a couple beers, having a good time, so some strategy was probably left to the wayside. And as you can see, my Hydrak, or my Mount Chimera, actually has 4 wounds on her now. They have been able to hit her, and she really doesn't have much of a save. So on the left side here, you can see on the right side of the picture, the Graveguard actually killed my Knights Errant and ran him down. But they didn't run far enough to get into my prophetess's unit, which was absolutely huge. Had they been able to get into the flank there, I may have been in real big trouble. But the Knights Errant just could not hold up to the killing blow. He rolled pretty well, but still, I really think that's a matchup I just lose anyway. His night bus cleaned up my yeoman, and instead of trying to get into my night block, he actually held up, knowing that he would have to take some dangerous terrain tests to get over the fence there. In hindsight, I don't know if this was the best move or not. I think what he was doing was allowing me to charge him, but then, you know, he would be able to get a counter charge with the corpse card and the dogs. He knows the combat's going to last more than 1 turn, so I think he was just trying to swing the battle the best he can in his way. I really don't want to go into him. I have no idea what to expect, but the way this game is going, this flank here is the game, so we have to go to war. If you notice, his dogs there actually didn't go into the Treb. He forgot about the dogs, and by the time we realized that he missed the charge, I already had fired another Treb shot and did wounds to something. So yeah, his bad, I guess. Okay, so here on my turn 2, I take my Prophetess's Knight of the Realm unit into the Graveguard. This is actually after combat. They did pretty well. I did get a Weissens on them, which is good. I'm a little worried as this combat goes on. Hopefully they can stick around and grind them down. As you can see in my upper left, yeah, I took the Night Bus in. Had to do it. We have to get bloody. Have to get our hands messy. So took them in there. And yeah, my men-at-arms cleaned up the rest. If you notice, my damsel stayed a Mountain Chimera the whole game. He just did not feel that he was rolling pretty low on Winter Magic, didn't feel that he needed to or wanted to use his dice. His vampires were getting wounds on him, and he wanted to keep regenning those wounds, so I guess he figured these units are lost anyway. Why waste the power dice? So yeah, here's a pretty cool picture I took. The lighting isn't great at my buddy's house, but I thought this was pretty neat because of that insanely huge banner. I think it looks awesome. Yeah. So this is after combat. Those knights, the black knights, are dead because of combat resolution. My lord actually has 1 wound on him from fighting the BSB, but my lord did kill the BSB, which was great. The other wound marker, I think, is for my paladin in the middle. Now, his vampire lord challenged. I accepted it with my pally, the non-BSB pally, and I am amazed he held up. I mean, he has a 1-up rerollable with the ward save, and he just did what he was supposed to do, and that was excellent. My pally BSB didn't take a wound, so I won combat, I guess, by 4 there, and started getting down that unit, which I am really surprised, but pretty happy with. And the knights finally get into the treb. And the treb's dead. Yeah, as the night wore on, I don't know why I switched to taking vertical pictures. Here, as it stands, this is his turn. He actually regrew some of the grave guard. He took the corpse guard into the flank of my night bus. He took the wolves into the flank of my night bus. But my general, now being able to attack the unit, he really went to town. And through combat res, popped a lot. The corpse cart popped, 4 dogs popped, and a lot of his unit, his bus popped, and this is where he called the game. There was nothing, I mean, there's really nothing left for him. It's going to be bloody. If he wasn't able to kill any of my paladins to actually get to the knight unit, and that's where we called it. So, in my parting shot and thoughts, it was a great game, and I always love playing Drunkanteater. He's a smart opponent, and he loves to take the unique side of this game and have a lot of fun with it. We're both competitive with each other, but we always have a good time when we play. And so, my parting shot and thoughts, apparently I suck at Tetris when I'm sober. And I say this because this is my carrying case, and when I left my house, I couldn't fit another model in. That's actually why I only had the little base for my transformation of Kadan spell. But when I was leaving, I packed it up, and it was excellent. I don't know why, but I took a picture of it because I thought, well, if I ever need to pack them up again, I know how to do it. So, there it is. I got my first win in the first battle report, and feels good. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll see you soon.